Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So many years ago, I discovered this little bit of a hack when I would go to a coin dealer. One time, I was haggling with a coin dealer about some gold coins I wanted to buy, and as I was haggling, his phone rang, and he was in a hurry to get to the phone, and he very hastily accepted a deal. And I thought, gee, that was lucky of me. And then it dawned on me that as I'm haggling with him, I could just have my phone in my pocket and dial his number to pressure him to answer the phone. Obviously not at the same dealer, because he probably is already kicking himself, but I would go to other coin dealers and practice the same trick. I mean, nothing to lose, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it was always a fun game, especially because I knew why his phone was ringing. He didn't know. He would pick up and there would be silence. Although one time he accidentally heard background noises and he figured it was coming from me. He was like, oh, I accidentally dialed your number. So he kind of failed that time, but still nothing to lose. Now, yesterday I got into a little bit of a disagreement with my coworker trying to play this game. What had happened is I had a tutoring client that I'm trying to negotiate with, and I wanted to apply a little bit of pressure because our discussions weren't getting very far. And I motioned to my coworker, "Come on, can I borrow your phone?" And as I'm discussing with the tutoring client, I used my coworker's phone to also call the client, because he had advertised on Facebook Marketplace, so he would probably assume it's another. This time I made sure to hit the mute button so that he wouldn't hear the two phones were coming from the same place. Finally, I finished haggling with the client. We hung up and I explained to my coworker what was going on. He was so upset, and he got even more upset that I would involve him and his phone number with this game. And so my coworker cursed at me, saying that there's more to life than money. It's really not just money. I'm trying to build a tutoring career base, and sometimes you just got to get your foot in the door. So I sometimes have trouble with I was talking about a client that I had who was just too much to deal with. Sometimes I allow myself to get suckered into that because I feel like I need to build a client base. But the reason I let the client go, the one who was really strung out and not knowing what he was doing, is because it didn't sound like there was much word-of-mouth potential there anyway, right? Had he had word-of-mouth potential, but he was a mess, that's where I can run into a lot of trouble, right? Especially if his word-of-mouth also brings more messes to the table, right? Anyway, I had a little bit of a sly negotiating tactic, and my coworker thought it was very sly. But I feel like sometimes if it gets the ball rolling, right, I might even confess. Later on, after I get to know the client, I might even confess what happened, because sometimes you just need to cut through that red tape, right?